Welcome to another episode of the marketing series where Tony and I are going to discuss the topic, should I run Facebook ads for my small business? Tony, talk to me.
So yes, if you have a business that's been running, you have a website and some of the basic things that businesses need, then running Facebook ads is a great way to scale. So, for instance, if you're in the wedding industry and a photographer or whatever happens to be, and maybe you're doing 5 to 10 weddings and you want to double your weddings, as an example, great way to do it. If I'm a plumber, I just hired a new apprentice or another plumber to my business. It's a great way to scale, right? So it's awesome from the standpoint of like it's a great way to reach a ton of people and make people aware that your business exists. So yes, in that situation, it's worth it. Yes.
So if I'm looking to scale, looking to grow, if I have a website, at what point is a website important when I'm looking to run ads?
So now imagine here you are spending, again, depending on what your budget is, right? 5, 6, 7, 800,000 a month, maybe sometimes even $10,000 a month, depending on your business, right? And they land there and it's not optimized to capture leads. So I'm sure you hear this a lot where, hey, I ran Facebook ads before and it didn't work. Right, Nicole? I'm sure you hear that a lot.
Absolutely.
And when we look at why it didn't work, it wasn't because Facebook ads didn't work, right? It's because everything else didn't work. So here you are driving more traffic to your site. You're not making it easy for them to give you information, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or right, remember we talked about the friction points, right, in some of our previous things. So and then you're not following up, and then here we go again, right? So I would make sure before you start to venture into any kind of paid advertising, right, you really want to make sure that you're doing the right thing, and because it can get really expensive, and you can spend a lot of money quick and get very little results. So
it sounds like once I have my website situated, all that set up, I can capture the leads that I'm sending there. Are there any other things that I should consider or do before I start running ads?
Yeah, have a strategy, right? You know what I mean? You don't want to go in blind, right? I think that's what a lot of people do, right? So, like, who am I after? What's my ideal client? What's your avatar? Like, who am I after, right? Am I a plumber that does kitchens? Do I do kitchens, high-end kitchens that I'm starting at $150,000 and above, right? Or am I someone that's looking for kitchens between 25 to 50, right? So the cool thing about Facebook ads or advertising is you can target specific people in specific areas to get specific types of business. Let me jump into the wedding industry, right? So if you're going after weddings, okay, you're going after potentially engaged couples, right? That's a demographic, or luckily with Facebook you have that status available that you can start searching. It's a great tool, and again, that's why having a strategy, knowing who you're after, right, what that person looks like, where they might live, right, you know what I mean, maybe potentially where those people hang out, that's the great thing about Facebook. There's so many things that you can focus on, age groups, right? Zip codes. You can really get very granular, right? And be very specific with who you're trying to reach.
Let's say I am getting already overwhelmed by all the things you're throwing at me. Should I hire somebody to do this for me? Should I consider doing it myself? Is there a simple way to do this myself?
Unless you're a really big business, okay? Let's just say you're doing $1 million in sales, right? 5 million in sales, right? Hiring an agency might make sense, right? Because you're not going to hire someone in-house, right, to ads. Maybe you are, right? Depend, again, some people do, right? But in most cases, they're going to outsource that, because the reason why it's so expensive is that what they do, and that on their end, right, is that not only do they set everything up for you, they create all the ads and everything, right? They also test all the time. They're comparing what headlines are working. They're looking at what images are working, because again, the goal is that they want you to succeed, right? And if you succeed, that means they succeed. but it's super expensive. Now, again, who are we talking about? We're talking about small businesses, right? People that, either are solo folks, right? Or people that have a team of 5 to 10 people. Okay. You're not going to be able to do that, right? You're not going to be able to afford it. So what most people do in that sense, right, is, they'll try to learn it themselves. Right.
Yeah.
And I do see a lot of people fail, right? Because they don't understand, they don't have an objective, right? They didn't spend enough, or, you know what I mean? Like there's so many variables that they think they can just kind of like set it up and like leave it and kind of keep your fingers crossed and hope for the best. You know what I mean? So it's expensive. We've worked with so many different industries, right? That we've made, we know what ads to run, we know what copy to run, right? We know what industries work better than others, right? So we can kind of guide you in the right direction. Okay. But there's still a lot of setup, right? You got to have a Facebook page, or there's all these things you got to have, and you have to check on these things. And again, the minute a week goes by, no results, you're like, there goes however much money you're spending, right? 2 weeks go by. It does take time for Facebook to figure things out, right? So you have to be patient. You have to give it a little bit of time, but once Facebook kind of figures things out, it will put you in the right, it'll kind of put you in front of the right people, but it does take a little bit. It does take a little bit of time to do that.
Yeah, definitely a learning curve, not only for yourself and how to utilize it, but also for Facebook algorithm to say this is the right audience.
If you're starting off, you're trying to figure out like, what should I charge, right? There's so many other things that you need to figure out, and this is the last thing you want to do is, end up spending $500, $600, $700, $800 a month, get absolutely no results, and now you're deeper in a hole, right? You know what I mean? It's kind of where like a lot of why do most businesses fail early, right? Is because they don't have any word of mouth or things like that, and they're trying to build, and they know the only way to kind of get the word out is by advertising, right? But it's a risky game because you can spend a lot of money, you can throw a lot of money at it and get no return. So so just again, I be careful. That's all. Like I don't want to make this a Debbie Downer, right? But
well, hearing that, I'm thinking I should probably hire someone. But if an agency is too expensive for me to hire, do I have another solution there?
There is. So here's the cool thing. Right. So, part of like what we do, and I try not to make these things about us, right? Because we want to try to help people. And, we've been lucky and fortunate enough to work with a developer. Well, right. They developed a tool, right? That is easy. Meaning like, it's as easy as you log into your account, you pick the ad that you want. Everything's already pre-set up behind the scenes, right? You pick a budget, $2 a day, $3 a day, whatever you're doing, like, do you want leads? Do you want, right? You pick what you want, and you flip it on, like 3 steps, and you're good to go, right?
That sounds good.
And it's so much easier. You know what I mean? And because again, like we've tested these ads and things like that, right? They work.
And I know we don't want to make this about us and our tool, but I do want to mention that if you want to see the background of our tool, set up a demo call because we'd be happy to show you an actual demo of that tool. So if you want to do that, we'd be happy to show you that.
Yeah, listen, absolutely. I mean, look, now it's just a matter of like, if it's the winter time and you're a photographer, you're trying to do family photos, you flip that ad, right?
Yeah, knowing the sales trends and seasonal cycles of your business and industry is important when you're running ads, for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So like we have that tool, the other option is to learn, right? You know what I mean? And again, as a small business owner, do I have the time to learn Facebook ads? Right? So these are all the challenges that, I think we all face is, yes, we want to grow, but we don't have the money to hire somebody. So, what most people do, again, I did this, right. I would learn, and I learned a lot of this stuff, just by reading and kind of learning, trial and error. I spent a lot of money. I've wasted a lot of money on my businesses and things like that, learning. And lots of fun.
Experience is a good teacher.
Oh yeah. But listen, I'm willing to do that because, like I do a lot of consulting, right, with businesses, and they'll reach out to me and say, listen, this is kind of where I'm at, and we want to grow. What do you think, right? And sometimes we find other ways of generating more business, right? New customers are expensive to acquire, by the way. right? So, and that's kind of what we're talking about with Facebook ads, right? So there are strategies, right, with Facebook ads, by the way, that retarget your current customers. So instead of you having to, call and say, hey, do you need anything else? They'll see your ad. So again, it's another great tool that you can use for retargeting to people that are already on your customer list. Again, it's very powerful when you use it right.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know my landscaper did trees too. Talk to me about how much I need to start doing Facebook ads.
$5 a day would be awesome. Right. It's $150 a month. But one of the things that when we sit down with companies, we always kind of look at, where are you already potentially spending money? Okay. And I'm going to go there. I'm going to go here, right? Because I know a lot of people that follow us and we talk to are people in the wedding industry. All right. That spend a lot of money for the wedding wire and the knot. Mm-hmm. I've been there with all of you. And if you guys just took what you're spending for the wedding wire and knot and applied it to Facebook ads, your ROI, your return on investment is 10 times, sometimes even 50 times. And then you're in control of the situation. You really are. I mean, and I'm not telling you to hop off a wedding wire and not meaning, still use it for the reviews and things like that. But that's kind of where I see where businesses are spending their dollars on the wrong type of stuff, especially in the wedding industry. And I feel bad, right? I think you talked to a customer not too long ago, right, Nicole?
Yeah. Even just this morning. Yeah. And
so
it's a common trend that we hear is they're big names. So as a vendor, I'm thinking I need to be there because couples are going there. However, the amount I'm spending, because I'm signing a contract, and then the return that I'm getting just doesn't help my business. It doesn't help me, and it doesn't make sense. And now I'm stuck because I'm spending all this money. It hurts to hear businesses have those issues over and over and over again.
Here, I'll give you a perfect example, right? So we do ads for a DJ company. It happens to be my company, right? And we did wedding wire for 2 years. Okay. And I think we booked because of paid advertising, because a lot of times we get leads, not from paid advertising, just because, again, if you focus on reviews, people tend to look at, wow, this company has a lot of reviews. Let me reach out to them. Okay. But, we got 2 weddings, right? A year. Okay. And we spent, I think we were on a $4,500 a year, package. Okay. Now it just so happened that we broke even, meaning because I spent $4,500, right? I booked 2 weddings that kind of covered that cost. Okay. So I didn't really lose anything. Right. And when you look at it from I got an opportunity to get in front of 400 new people between the 2 weddings because they were really big weddings. Right. That got me referrals from those weddings. So again, sometimes we're sitting there, looking at things in a manner that, it's worthless sometimes. Right. You broke even. Okay. Now let's just take that same budget. Right. And let's kind of separate it out a little bit where maybe you're taking a portion on new engaged couples. Right, getting them to see your stuff. Right, maybe you're taking a smaller portion on retargeting. Right, people that with different services. Maybe you're retargeting because they realize, oh wait, I didn't know they had a photo booth, or I didn't know they did something else. So just imagine how much more business you can create. Right, and again, it's very common. When I switched, again, and the results are different from everyone, by the way, because again, so much of this is not only getting the leads, what you do following up, how your sales process is, and things like that. But listen, honestly, because of it, we were able to scale that business, by the way, from a 90 something a year, as far as weddings, to over 250 weddings because
turn into a multi-op.
Yeah, sometimes kind of having these conversations with us as far as kind of where you are, we might be able to look at different areas to kind of free some money and kind of just reallocate your dollars already and kind of get it to maximize, get it to work better for you. The people that are just trying to do their job, so this has nothing to do with it. But as a small business owner, I got to feed my family, right? And if I'm going to spend $1, I got to make sure I make at least two.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You've mentioned retargeting a few times. So let's talk about the types of ads I could run, should run. So let's talk about that.
Yeah. So again, I don't want to get too technical because this stuff can get complicated. So I'm going to keep it super simple. There's a couple of types of ads that you can run. So one is awareness. Okay. The goal is just it's almost like a billboard, right? I just want people to see that I exist. And like literally you can run $1 or $2 a day, really inexpensive, and you could pick a specific city or a specific state, right? And you will drive thousands and thousands of people will see your company name with your brand. Awesome. It's you're raising awareness. Really inexpensive, but really effective, especially if you're starting off, because you can keep your budget really low. And traffic ads, okay, are because you're trying to drive people to your website, right? Or to a page on your website.
Landing page, yeah.
You got it. And what you're trying to do is based on that landing page, there's maybe something there, right? That they go, you know what? Let me schedule a call. Right. And when I say like, it's kind of like when you have a sales funnel, right? Awareness is top of funnel, right? Traffic is a little bit more because the reason why they're going there is because maybe they're starting the process of wanting to buy, right? And then you have lead ads. Lead ads are for people that are willing or they're closer down that buying funnel, okay? But it costs more, right? So those are the different types of ads that you can run.
What are your tips for writing ad copy and ad design, something that's compelling and catching? What tips do you have for me about that?
So I'll make it real easy. Keep it simple, right? Make sure you're using authentic images, right? If you're an HVAC guy, it's great to show your guys on a job, right? If you're a roofer on the ceiling, right? If you're a DJ, maybe, people dancing, right, with you in the background type thing. Keep it easy to the point, right? Make sure the message is clear, right? Focus on benefits. You know what I mean? Like, why or pain points. Even within the ad copy, make sure that you're calling out who you want. Hey, people that have a leaky roof, I'm talking to you. Like, I know it's goofy, but you know what I mean? It's like that info commercial. Like, hey, if you the guy with the boat with the hole in it, if you got a hole in your boat, like you can just do this a special tape, whatever it is. I don't know, whatever it is. But it's still, I know I'm being silly, but it's literally that simple. So if you do that, people go, oh, okay, cool. Like, yeah, I'm a bride. I'm someone that's looking for bathrooms. Okay, right. I'm gonna see if I'll respond to the ad because you're calling me out. If you make it too generic, you'll get more traffic, by the way, which again, if you're looking to get more traffic, more leads, or get people more in the funnel, right, you make it more vague. I have a document that takes you through the ad structure, right? And you basically just fill in the blank, and it works for any industry. Okay. Well, we'll give you that PDF and we'll make it super easy. Again, keep it as simple. Keep it as simple and real.
Which is what we try to do.
Yeah.
Now, what do I need to start running Facebook ads? So like at the core, what do I need?
You've run into this. What do you need? A Facebook page, right?
A Facebook business page and a Facebook ad account. A lot of people are like, I have a page. Can't I just do that? You need a Facebook ad account. And preferably not your personal one, which most people start to get confused. You can set up a business ad account so that if you run an ad that does not follow community standards and guidelines, your personal page does not get shut down. So a lot of things to be aware of and consider. If you have a question, feel free to drop a comment. We'll be happy to answer it. If you're running into issues, leave a comment. We'll be happy to chat. Yes, absolutely.
We're in a given mood today. So if you're interested in our Facebook course, you can definitely go on YouTube and do some research, but we just have a really easy, organized course to kind of help you take you through the steps. So if you're interested, drop a comment, that you would love to get access to that, and we'll be more than happy to, kind of put you, send that your way.
Yeah. Drop a comment that you want the Facebook course and we'll know. Awesome. Now to wrap up, let's do some action items. So I think first and foremost should be set up a Facebook business page, set up a Facebook business ad account. Those are free.
So Facebook doesn't charge you anything to set that up. If you already have those things, okay, Our templates as far as structuring ads will help you guys create some ads. Okay, if you're new, start with awareness. It's cheap. Throw $1 a day, like $2 a day, right? If you've been in the game a little bit and you're willing to spend a little more money because you have a little more budget, you can start to look at maybe doing some lead ads and things like that, right? So again, we can help you with that. Just let us know as well. But yeah, that's where I would start.
Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and we will see you next week.